think we're okay. We're all ready in the jail? All right, Ellen Hamilton.
Judge, if we could put that case on the recall, the victim stuff in the
Ms. Hamilton is here present, Judge. Are we putting it on recall?
Putting it on recall. Joyce Jacob.
The alleged victim
Ms.
is here,
Jacob
Judge.
is here present, Judge. Her attorney, she said she has private counsel, Mr. Larry Meltzer. Come on up.
Who are you, sir?
Richard Hahn, domestic partner, Joyce's father, Jay.
Okay, ma'am, Ms. Jacob, you're charged with domestic violence. I find probable cause. What do you want to tell me, sir?
Well, primarily we'd like her to come home. I think it's more important for her to be there and for Jake's sake, and that I'm not in fear of our safety at all. We also talked to Child Protective Service yesterday and have agreed to get the proper counseling and programs.
Let me raise your right hand, sir. Sir, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, up you got.
Are you on probation, ma'am?
Okay, and sir, you are the domestic partner of Joyce Jacob,
Prior
Yes,
felon.
sir.
and you have a child together, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your name is Richard Haim?
On.
Okay, and this altercation occurred with you, is that correct? And it's your position that you're not afraid of her, that you want her to be able to return home,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay? State,
I just want to advise the court, Your Honor. Ms. Jacob was arrested in 2014 for domestic violence battery against Mr. Hahn. That charge is dropped.
okay.
Okay, have a seat.
All right. Pre-trial release,
Mr. Thomas.
okay, pre-trial release. She's released to pre-trial. Okay. Sir, you understand?
Not exactly.
She doesn't, I'm RORing her to pre-trial. She'll have to report into pre-trial and report with them and make sure she shows up at her court date. Yes, she's allowed contact.
Any priors on Hines? Yeah.
No, how much is the check?
Gets out. And she's still there. If it's before 4 or something. Count to 1.
It's not a check.
Another transit.
Okay, that's
Justin Hines. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hines is here present, Judge, at Maine.
Justin Hines, you're charged with violation of a restraining order. The court finds probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $3,000. No contact with the victim. Giovanni Gonzalez Infante.
Judge, if the defense could be heard, and speaking with Mr. Hines, basically he was born and raised here in Florida. He is currently working. He only makes approximately $15. He lives separate and apart from the alleged victim. He has his own apartment, paying approximately $1,100 a month. His financial resources are limited. He's asking if Your Honor would consider pretrial release.
Your Honor, if we could please put that case on recall, the listed victim is en route.
Okay, we'll put it on recall.
Oh, on Hines, I'm sorry.
All right. What's that?
We can go ahead with this case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, that's, bond is set in the amount of
$3,000.
$3,000. Have a
Which
good
case
day.
are we on now? Which case?
Justin Hines.
That was on,
Okay, because you said recall. So,
Okay, no,
Mr.
no.
Hines, come on.
Giovanni
He
Gonzalez Infante.
Heck no.
Our
3,000 on
request for
Hines.
pretrial said 3,000. So how much I got to
$3,000 bond.
$3,000.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Gonzalez is the one that I'm asking for recall.
Mr. Gonzalez, come on up, please.
That's the one we're asking for recall.
Oh, Gonzalez.
What is it? I'm
Recall.
not, wait a minute. We got 3 people doing 3 different things. What are we doing with Gonzalez Infante?
Recall.
He's here present.
Why is that?
The list of victims en route. There's disabilities, taking them a little bit longer to get here.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Giovanni Gonzalez is on recall. Joseph
Okay.
Burgess.
Mr. Burgess, come on up.
You're charged, sir, with domestic violence, find probable cause. Bond is set the amount of $1,500. No contact with the alleged victim. Jesse Dazell.
Mr. Dazell is here.
Mr. Dazell, you're charged with domestic violence, find probable cause. Bond is set the amount of $1,000. No contact with the alleged victim. Malik Hobson.
Hobson.
Mr. Hobson's here, present, Judge. He declined to serve as a public defender. I believe he hired Mr. Randall Haas.
Mr. Hobson, you're charged with grand theft auto, $1,000 bond, battery over 65 years of age, $2,500 bond, battery, domestic, $1,500 bond, throwing a missile, $2,000 bond, an aggravated battery, $7,500 bond. Five probable cause, all counts.
Your Honor, that's no victim contact.
No victim contact.
Thank you.
Clayton Thomas.
Mr. Thomas is here, present, Judge, at Maine. Judge, my understanding this is his first arrest ever, and he's a registered voter. We'd be asking you to set a reasonable bond on his behalf.
Mr. Clayton Thomas is charged with domestic battery by strangulation, $3,000 bond, domestic battery, $2,000 bond, false imprisonment, $5,000 bond. Total bond is $10,000. I find probable cause all counts. No contact with the alleged victim.
Judge, one request from the defense. I believe him and the alleged victim do share 3 children in common, ages 14, 18, and 20. Judge, we'd be asking you to allow for third-party contact for purposes of arranging child custody and visitation.
I believe all the children are almost adult, if I read it correctly.
Well, the
What's the
20-year-old, I
youngest
believe, 14.
Okay.
Capable 3. She's mentally 3.
I'm not entering an order on that at this time. Davin Harrell.
Mr. Harold, Judge, is going to require a sign interpreter. He can read
We'll put it on recall.
Judge, we'd be requesting, due to his special circumstance, if he could do an in-person magistrate, if he could be transported over there to be in-person magistrated.
Well, first off, we need an interpreter, don't we?
Correct.
Okay. So let me see if I can get an interpreter. I'm going to put him on recall.
Go ahead and have a seat.
Fernando Maya Tellez.
Mr. May is going to require a Spanish interpreter.
Recall. Ronnie Meza. Mr. Meza, you have an out-of-state hold, $25,000 bond.
Mr. Coleman?
Susan.
Judge, I believe, Judge, he was actually reset. I believe they were supposed to take his fingerprints and compare it to the out-of-state hold to see if it was him, because he claims he's never been in that jurisdiction. I don't know if that was done yet, or do we have to place this on reset for tomorrow?
No, Mr. Merrill, this was brought to Judge Davis's attention yesterday afternoon, the Prince match.
Prince match.
Thank you, Judge.
Well,
Susan Mule.
They confirm, all right.
That's no problem, Your Honor.
All right, Susan Mule, you're charged with DUI, $1,000 bond. Alcohol driving DUI, second offense, $1,000 bond. You need $2,000 bond to get out of fine probable cause.
She's been living here for 28 years. She has an ex-husband here. That's her only family. She did attend college at William Patterson in New Jersey. Her only prior arrest is a prior DUI. She doesn't have a lot of money. She thinks it was a while ago. How long ago was that, Susan?
I think it was in 2005.
2008? Okay, she's been staying at the same residence for the last 9 years. She could make a $300 bond, Judge, if you consider reducing it.
So I take that back. Probably not desperate.
Okay. Pre-trial.
Talk about even have a fat boyfriend lady that
Her city can pay her money, and her ex-husband pays for other bills. She told us that she is unemployed, states that she
woman of
doesn't
God,
have a drinking problem.
know all about you.
And
Well, let me put it this way. I'll release her to pre-trial with special condition. She has an alcohol evaluation and any follow-up on it.
Thank you, Judge.
Right, too.
Sir, please stop talking to me. You are corrupted.
Judge, if you...
What did she say?
stop talking to me, you're corrupted. Was that outdated?
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yes.
Judge, if you want to recall Mr. Harrell on page 3.
Yes, 120.
Am I done?
Yes.
Yes, you're done, Susan. You're getting out of jail. Behave yourself.
She must report tomorrow.
You have to report to pretrial release tomorrow, okay? They'll show you where it is.
That's Mr. Harrell?
Mr. Harrell on page 3. I spoke with the interpreter's office. They indicate to me that they can have a sign interpreter here for this afternoon. So if you want to reset Mr. Harrell to 1:30.
Bus. Call that number. Go into room 3.
1:30.
Did you get that, Hector?
What hours are you?
Yes. 1:30, you'll be brought back here.
Mr. Harrell, the one we needed the sign interpreter for? Page 3.
Robin Bowl.
Let's go. North Broward, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with petty theft, bond set in the amount of $100. You want to plead no contest?
Actually, better to put more on the PC. But it's
I'm sorry, sir. Yes, no contest would be fine.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Time served.
Yes, sir. That's fine.
After my
Waive.
after court
No
dismissal,
return.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye. I want to see you again. Thank you. Sorry.
Heidi Hansen.
Judge, Ms. Hanson's here present at Maine.
What's that?
I gotta go.
She's here present at Maine?
Oh, Ms. Hanson, you're charged with domestic battery. I find probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000.
Judge,
No contact.
Judge, in speaking with Ms. Hanson, we'd be requesting you consider free trial. My understanding is she only has one prior offense. It's a DUI from approximately 4 years ago. She's a stay-at-home mother. She has 3 children. She's not working. She takes care of her 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and 2-year-old.
All right, she's pre-trial.
Thank you very much, Judge. I'll give her the map.
Hi, Hendy Lorena?
That's not private, Your Honor.
Okay, you're charged with, you got a capious $500 bond. It's petty theft. Do you want to plead no contest?
Yes. Yes.
Time served. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Sharon Gayoza.
Also North Broward. Let's stand on the X.
Ms. Gayoza, you're charged with resisting an officer without violence, trespassing, and another trespassing. Do you want to plead no contest?
Your Honor, I don't have bond, and I want to.
I didn't ask you that, ma'am. Do you want to plead no contest?
You want to get out of jail today?
Glad you
Yes.
said
You want to plead no contest?
Yes.
I think that was a yes.
And I,
that. Is that a yes, ma'am?
yeah, but I don't have bond to get out.
What did she say now?
You don't have to worry about money to get out. The judge is going to give you time served. You'll be released from jail. The case will be over. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Sound good?
Time served. Waive cost. Have a good day.
Let's go. Come on out. Come on out.
All 3 counts. Shanaquay Brown,
Also no problem, Your Honor.
you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Set bond set the amount of $3,000. Domestic battery, $1,500 bond, and criminal mischief, $500 bond. No contact with the alleged victim.
Judge, she's been living here for 20 years. Her mom is disabled. She's a chef. She works at South Beach. She's been living in the same residence for 4 months. She can stay with her mother, so she wouldn't have contact with her boyfriend, who's the alleged victim in the case, who does not work and whose bills are paid by Miss Brown. I think this was more of a situation where Miss Brown was perhaps the victim. She is scheduled to graduate from the Cordon Bleu Cooking School with her associate's degree this Saturday. And she does volunteer work for the Autism Society. So I don't know if the court would consider maybe a lesser bond in light of the
Appear
fact
to be
that...
doing a little knife work.
Yes, well, it's one of the tools of the trade.
It's a high level of violence, Your Honor, and as far as her being the victim, that's just mere speculation. There's nothing to indicate that.
I understand that.
I had to go to the hospital. Your
Don't
Honor.
discuss the facts of the case, Miss Brown.
Okay,
Everybody's gonna try you. Here we go.
court sets bond on the ag assault at $2,000, $1,000 on the domestic, and $500 on the criminal mischief, and $3,500. No contact. Have a good
Judge, I'm
day.
also going to ask the court to sign a photo order on her.
Huh?
I'm going to ask the court to sign an order allowing our office to take photographs of her, because she
Yes.
was, she
Oh,
was
yes.
injured as well in the incident.
Dallin Rodriguez,
Judge, she's here present. She's going to require a Spanish interpreter.
put her on recall.
Thank you. Toma asiento, por favor.
Nika Wilson,
Ms. Wilson, come on up, please.
Conviction-wise, like coverages or anything in comparison?
Judge, she's inquiring to see if her bond was posted.
she's got a possession with intent of PVP, $5,000 bond, cannabis, $100 bond, paraphernalia, $100 bond, suspended driver's license, $750 bond, find probable cause, all counts. Bond been posted
Judge.
on her? No. Safara Lee.
She's in North Broward.
That's no problem, Your Honor.
Hello, Judge.
Okay, Miss Lee, you are charged
Yes.
with robbery with a firearm. I find probable cause.
Your Honor, the state would be seeking a no bond hold for robbery, firearm. It is a punishable by life offense. Your Honor, based on the probable cause affidavit pursuant to Brackett v. State, in which the 4th ECA held that the court can make a finding of proof evident or presumption great based on an affidavit alone. Your Honor, the state would argue that the affidavit prepared by Deputy Guzman does satisfy proof evident or presumption great. The allegations made by the alleged victim satisfy the elements of robbery, firearm. There was an alleged witness that observed, corroborating the victim's story, observed Ms. Lee and her co-defendant chasing the alleged victim with her co-defendant having what appeared to be a gun in his possession, Your Honor. Her co-defendant admitted to chasing him. So just relying upon the probable cause affidavit, Your Honor.
Your Honor, our position is that at this time we ask the court to conduct an Arthur hearing, and we would, based on the Florida Constitution and State v. Arthur, we would submit to this court that it is not possible to find proof evident of the presumption of guilt great based on a probable cause affidavit, as a probable cause affidavit is designed to do one thing: establish probable cause. The standard that the state is seeking is even higher than beyond that of a reasonable doubt, and it cannot be reached based on the bare-bones allegations in a probable cause affidavit. The rules of criminal procedure provide an alternative for the state. They can file a motion to seek pretrial detention with the court. If they had filed that motion, which they neglected to do, the court then would just be required to find probable cause, reset the case for 3 days, and at that time, a further hearing could be conducted to determine whether or not the accused should be held without bond. The state did not pursue that option. They're asking this court to be put in the untenable position of having to determine proof evident presumption grade based solely on a probable cause affidavit, which again, we would submit to the court is not possible.
Gentlemen, I have reviewed the probable cause affidavit in this case. I note that the alleged victim came in contact with Miss Lee by contacting her via electronic communication for the purpose of engaging in sex for money. That Miss Lee went to the room, that there was some disagreement or dispute that occurred, that he left the room, followed by Miss Lee, and that a third party, and I'm sorry, I believe it's an Alex Level, then engaged Mr. Lee. The court finds probable cause as to the robbery charge. The court sets bond in the amount of $75,000, and the court also will require GPS monitoring level 2.
And just in a bunch of caution, Your Honor, I just asked for no victim contact.
No victim contact. Charlene Morose.
She's in North Broward, Judge.
Okay. Thank you. All right, ma'am, you're charged with possession of cocaine, $1,000 bond, possession of dilaudid, $1,000 bond, possession of Buford, fine, something, $1,000 bond, and possession of drug, looks like paraphernalia, $100 bond, and trespassing, $25 bond. I find probable cause, bond set in total amount $3,125.
Judge, she's been living here all her life. She has a brother here. She was living at one residence her entire life until she moved, and then she's now at the current place that she lives for the last 3 years. So it seems she has a stable residence. She's also given me the numbers of some individuals I can contact on her behalf to try and bond her out. Her only prior record is a DUI 30 years ago. I'd ask the court to maybe consider pretrial release for her.
At this time, no, but I will allow her a phone call to try to get someone to post a bond. Geisha Brown.
Judge, Ms. Brown is here present at Maine. She's here present, Judge, at Maine.
Anybody know where she is? Brown?
At Maine, Judge. Maine.
Maine. We're waiting.
Maine.
Okay. Geisha Brown, you're charged with grand theft auto. $1,000 bond, possession of cannabis, no bond required. You find probable cause, $1,000 bond.
Judge, if I could be heard? Judge?
Go ahead.
In speaking with Ms. Brown, she's been residing in South Florida her whole life. She is 35 years old. She is currently employed. She works for Treatment Partners of America in customer service. She's been doing that for 1 year. She has no property. She has no money in the bank. She lives in Pembroke Pines with her husband. They've been married 2 years. They have one child in common who's 2 years old that she takes care of. He's autistic. This is her first arrest ever. She's a registered voter. If the state can verify that this is her first arrest ever, Judge, considering her strong ties to community, she's a graduate of Carroll City High School, Miami-Dade College, would you consider an ROR on Ms. Brown's behalf?
$1,000 bond. Thank you. Robinson.
That's North Broward, Your
Alicia
Honor.
Robinson.
North Broward.
You're charged with retail theft, felony, $1,000 bond, find probable cause.
Judge, I did not see anything in the police report that would indicate the value of the items stolen. And the way it looks like it's charged is retail theft, $300 or more, coordinating with others. I didn't see any coordinating with others in here either.
Okay, let me reread this. Go ahead.
She's on pretrial for 5 cases.
You're doing great on one side, Brian, but you're going down on the other.
I know. Another one battle and a lost one.
I wasn't paying attention. Talk to you.
And counsel, you are absolutely correct. The value is not stated in there. The court finds probable cause for a misdemeanor petty theft because the items did have value. So and I'll leave the bond at 1,000. The state has 24 hours to perfect.
Your Honor, I'm not.
5 open cases, 14-16777 CF grand theft, 15-3842 CF possession of cocaine, 15-9928 CF grand theft, 16-1844 MM petty theft, 17-976 MM petty theft and resisting. The act of this defendant's pretrial status has been revoked on all cases.
Revoking pretrial status, the bond is set in the amount of $1,500 on the grand theft, which is the first one that's run around. On the second, one is $1,500. On the third one, $1,500. On the fourth one, $1,500. And on the fifth one, $1,500.
And Your Honor, the state's not. Your Honor, the state's not going to request any time. If the bond's been kept at 1,000, I'm not going to ask for any time.
Okay. Here we go. Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank
Good
you.
argument, Mr. Reedy.
And Your Honor, Your Honor, we have the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, we'll be right there. Verite Mercedes.
North Broward, Judge.
That's a medical reset, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll put her on recall.
It's a medical reset, Judge.
Oh, medical reset?
Just take it with you. It's a KB.
Okay, now. On, who do we need the interpreter on? Is that on Rodriguez?
Yes, Judge.
Judge, I believe there was 2 individuals. One of them was Rodriguez. Dallin Rodriguez. She's approaching, Judge. She also declined the services of public defender.
La señora decidió que no.
Dallin Rodriguez, you're charged with fraud, money laundering, bond is set in the amount of $75,000. Grand theft first degree, bond is set in the amount of $25,000. And criminal attempt to aspire first degree, which is a conspiracy for grand theft, is $25,000 bond. I find probable cause, all accounts, total bond $125,000.
Señora Rodríguez, se le acusa de fraude y lavado de dinero, la fianza es $75,000. Después de robo de grado mayor, $25,000. También de intención de actividades criminales, eso es un cargo de conspiración, $25,000 de fianza. Veo que hay motivo fundado para todos los cargos. La fianza total es $125,000.
And Your Honor, I would just ask that the court impose all the special bond conditions that Judge Bober placed on the warrant.
También vamos a pedir que se incluyan
What are the
todos
special conditions were there?
las condiciones especiales de la fianza que pidió el juez Bober.
Do you have children of your own? How old? Do you work?
You taking his medication?
¿Mi abogado no está ahí?
Pregunta.
Señora, ¿mi abogado no está ahí?
Is my lawyer here?
Do you own any properties, bank accounts, automobiles?
What do you diagnose?
Circle those and those individually, press down hard.
¿Puedo hablar algo?
May I say something?
Ma'am, you don't want to say anything at this point.
No, señora, no debe decir nada en este momento.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Do you owe anybody?
Judge, as a friend of the court, she does have private counsel. I don't know if Your Honor wishes to.
Yeah, I understand she's got private counsel.
De parte de a un amigo del tribunal, queremos avisar que la señora tiene un abogado privado. Sí,
All right.
entendemos que tiene.
Address, city, zip code, phone number.
On the
Sign right here, just exercise your right to remain silent.
the provision for level 1 GPS pretrial services with no alcohol or drugs and random testing, I don't have any problem with the pretrial supervising it, but I don't know where the what is the nexus to alcohol and drug testing. This appears to be white collar crime.
And Your Honor, what I would ask, and I would like to believe that Judge Bober had a reason for doing it.
Well,
and,
they may be having one, but I've got to have a nexus to it, counsel.
Your Honor, what I would ask is that since she's going to have to see her, well, ma'am, if you want to translate.
Thank you. Las condiciones especiales era nivel 1 de monitor GPS monitoreado por el programa de pre-tribunal y no puede tomar alcohol ni drogas, le harían exámenes de drogas y alcohol sin aviso. Eso también sería monitoreado por el programa de antes de juicio. La pregunta es que no sabemos las razones por qué las impuso el juez Bober, pero debemos pensar de parte del Estado que tuvo razón para imponer esas condiciones.
Okay. Your Honor, is the court inclined to keep the Nebbia requirement in place?
The what?
Nebbia requirement.
No.
Requisito
I don't have any basis for it.
No
Well, Your
tengo
Honor-
bases de
It's a
aceptarlo.
problem. Either you're going to have the bonds that he set be in full force and effect, which is fine by me, or
Well,
El problema es que imponemos o
Put me-
las fianzas que pidió
Your Honor,
él o las que pido yo.
I imagine the Nebbia has to do with the sheer amount of money that was alleged to have been stolen.
Me parece que la condición navia tiene que ver
Are
con
you-
lo que se alega de
are
cantidad
you
que se
saying
robó.
that Judge Bober's order control? Fine.
Okay.
Bueno, si quiere, entonces
Well,
dejamos que
that's-
controle la orden de
My
Bober.
only finding is probable cause. Bond has already been set by a prior judge, correct?
Estoy mirando que hay motivo fundado.
That's where your problem is.
Ese es el problema.
Your Honor, then I would just ask if the court could put on the record that his special conditions control also.
I don't have any
Okay,
basis for his special condition.
So
either it's
las
his-
condiciones especiales.
Right, I don't have any basis to require full collateralization. I don't know what that means.
No puedo pedir esas condiciones, especialmente una colateralización completa. No sé por qué lo hizo, no sé qué
Are you gonna
significado
hire
tiene.
your own or do you want a public defender?
Okay. Then Your Honor, then the court's not, then if the state is asking the court to leave the bonds in place, then is the court's position You're not going to touch the special conditions one way or the other.
Entonces, si dejamos
And if, I don't know, they can do whatever they want, because I don't know why, if he's already set the bond and the condition of bond, why I would be making any ruling on it whatsoever.
No hay razón para que yo tenga una decisión.
But that's what they're saying I have to do.
Eso es lo que me dicen que debo hacer.
Your Honor, I'm just asking, like the court is stating, just for record purposes, that those are the bonds that were set. I'm just asking the court to state that those are the special conditions that Judge Glover set for record purposes.
Para el acta solo pido que después de declarar las fianzas, se declaren también las condiciones especiales.
I'm not making any comment on it.
Okay.
I find probable cause to the record based upon his warrant and his finding.
Thank you,
No voy a
Judge.
hacer comentarios sobre las decisiones que hizo él, pero solo digo que acepto motivo fundado y la orden de arresto basada en las órdenes que hizo.
Giovanni Gonzalez Infante, do you need an interpreter?
Judge, that was when the person who's coming.
Okay, we'll put that on record. Do we need, anybody else need a Spanish interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. Hold.
Okay, who is it?
You're finished. Judge, is she finished?
Yeah.
She's here confused. She's confused so far. She doesn't know what happened.
Ya terminó, señora. Su fianza es $125,000.
And for the record, Your Honor, as a friend of the court, she did want her private counsel present.
Y la señora pide que esté su abogado.
All right, note it for the record, his counsel's not present.
Okay.
If he shows up, you want to put me to put her on recall?
Lo anotamos en el acta. Si viene el abogado, ¿la volvemos a llamar?
Sí, por favor, gracias.
Yes, she wants it
Yes,
on
please, I would
recall.
like that.
All right, put her on recall, see if is her counsel showing? Is he coming? Have we heard from him?
¿Sabe si viene su abogado?
Dijo que venía.
He said he was
Me
coming.
dijo
All right,
mismo.
I'll leave her on recall
Okay.
until the end of the docket.
Ponemos un caso en espera hasta que terminamos de llamar a todos los otros casos.
All right, now who else do we need an interpreter on?
Judge, Fernando Maya Tellez
Ma'am, I don't know
on
anything
page
about
4.
page. Hang on. Go ahead. Fernando who?
Maya Tellez.
Okay, fine.
Tellez.
Okay, Mr. Fernando Malaya Tellez, you are charged with domestic battery by strangulation. Bond is set in the amount of $2,000. The battery domestic, $2,000 bond. Criminal mischief, $1,000 bond. And violation of probation, you have a $500 bond. Total bond is $5,500. Find probable cause. No contact with the alleged victim.
Señor Pérez, se le acusa de violencia doméstica por medio de estrangulación, es $2,000 de fianza, agresión de violencia doméstica, $2,000 de fianza, comportamiento criminal, $1,000, violación de condiciones de probatoria, $500, fianza total, $5,500. Veo que hay motivo fundado y no puede tener contacto con la víctima.
Judge, he works minimum wage in construction. He has no money in the bank, only has $9 an hour. Would you consider reducing his bond and consider his financial resources?
I always consider the financial resources, but the bond remains in this case. Now, we need one more. On the what is?
¿Alguien más español?
Ma'am, come up. I don't have it, page 12. You
¿Qué es tu nombre?
Martinez is the last name.
Oh, okay. What is the name?
Jose Martinez?
I got it right there.
Jose Martinez is here present. Judge.
Jose Martinez Perez.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yanni Michelle coming on his behalf.
Okay. It's got a violation of probation, misdemeanor. It's a no bond hold. And that was issued by Judge Robinson.
Yes,
All right, and you're representing him?
Yes, Your Honor. He was arrested on the warrant yesterday. This warrant was issued in December of 2014. I do have in my possession that he has completed his, or substantial portion in my possession. Thank you.
El señor se le acusa de delito de grado menor, pero tiene una orden de arresto sin fianza. Eso lo pidió el juez Robinson y el señor fue arrestado, pero esa orden de fianza esa orden de arresto es de diciembre del 2014. De parte de la abogada, veo que él ha completado casi todos sus requisitos.
My understanding, Your Honor, is that he has completed probation. His wife went to the office to pick up a copy of his completion paperwork. However, they cannot provide that till 1:30 p.m. However, I do have some of the documentation, the victim impact panel, the DUI school, and as well as the costs and the fines. The only paperwork that I am missing is the community service hours, which we should be able to have by 1:30. Considering that, we would ask for a bond present.
Parece que el señor sí completó todos sus requisitos. La señora fue a la oficina de probatoria para pedir una copia del documento demostrando que había completado, pero le han dicho que no la pueden conseguir hasta la 1:30 de la tarde. Aquí sí tengo los documentos del impacto de víctimas, la escuela de DUI y que ha pagado sus gastos y sus multas. Lo único que me falta es el comprobante de servicio de comunidad. Por eso sí pedimos que señoría le dé una fianza.
What are you asking me to do?
¿Qué quiere que haga?
Okay.
Pedimos que piense en sí darle una fianza al señor.
Where does Mr. Perez live?
¿Dónde vive el señor Pérez? Puede responder, señor. ¿Cuál es su dirección?
Were you arrested by yourself? Do you have any children?
Are you asking me?
63,
Sí, señor.
63, 68, Northwest, 173,
Does
Street.
he live in Broward County?
¿Usted vive en el condado de Broward?
Yes.
And counsel,
Yes.
you're representing him?
Sí, la señora lo representa.
Okay, and you've got the completions. The court takes notice that the violation of probation is for failure to pay fines and failure to complete the school, which counsel has proof of. The court will ROR him.
Ya que vemos que la abogada tiene
And
los
counsel
documentos,
get in touch with whoever's taking over Judge Robinson's
ya vemos que tiene la abogada los documentos comprobando que sí pagó sus gastos, sus costas y multas y completó la escuela. Lo vamos a dejar en libertad bajo palabra. Asegúrese de comunicarse con la persona o el juez que ha reemplazado a la jueza Robinson.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Loran Jojola.
Judge, there's another person that requires a Spanish interpreter.
Oh, okay. Well, the Spanish interpreter, there we are. Okay, gotcha. Who was that?
Alberto Bruno. He's towards the middle of the docket. I didn't want to give you a page number, Judge. So that's why it's towards the middle.
That's okay. I can't get to you. You're on the other side of the camera.
17.
Alberto Bruno?
Yes, sir.
Alberto Bruno.
Mr. Bruno, you have a violation of probation. It's a no bond hold. Court finds probable cause. You'll be detained going before Judge Cohen. Thank you very much.
Señor Alberto Bruno, ¿tiene usted violación de condiciones de probatoria? Eso es pedida de detención sin fianza. Veo que hay motivo fundado, entonces va a quedar encarcelado hasta que se presente en frente del juez Cohen.
Okay, Loran Jola.
As I'm trying to figure out what they
Snow driving, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you're charged with trespassing. I find probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $100. Do you want to plead no contest?
Yes.
Time served.
Señor.
Carrie Herndon.
He's your present main judge?
Carrie Herndon, you're charged with trespassing. Bond is $100. Do you want to plead no contest?
Yes.
Time served. Johnny Coleman.
Mr. Coleman?
Mr. Coleman, you have capias for driving with a suspended driver's license. On a suspended driver's license charge, if you have 3 of them within a 5-year period of time, you can lose your driver's license for 5 years. If you want to, the best thing you can do is post bond. Do you live in Broward County?
No, sir.
Where do you live?
I live in Polk County, sir.
Live in Polk County.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'm also showing he's registered, so pleading this case out could have other consequences.
He's got other...
He's registered, so pleading this case out could have potentially civil commitment consequences.
If I can just resolve it, I just did 10 months in prison.
Judge, he was extradited. I believe he did finish doing a prison sentence. He was just extradited here. Judge, I'm assuming since he was extradited, he hasn't been working no money. Would you consider an ROR?
2000, I had no idea.
From 2000. Wow, that's like over 17 years ago. Wow.
Yes, sir. I have no.
And just so the court's aware,
Yep.
Your Honor, his prison sentence was as a result of failing to register
Failing to register what?
as a sex offender.
Okay. Okay, it appears that, counsel, it appears that this is a first, because the other ones were, the other one was in 2000 and, oh no, yeah. The prior driving suspension was 99. If he wants to plead no contest, he can.
Your Honor, just ask that he be advised that pleading this case out could have potential civil commitment consequences based on his status as a sexual offender.
Counsel, what do you
Judge,
want to do?
well, I'm not representing him at this time. As a friend of the court, I did tell him that he could be subject to Jimmy Rice proceedings. Mr. Coleman, however, I believe he wants to address the court and let you know that he wants to resolve his case.
Yes, sir. I would like to resolve.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to resolve this case because this is something from 2000 that I have no idea about. It's going to cost me more time and aggravation dealing with this than just
All right, well, you
resolve.
understand that this could have ramifications on your other charge.
Sir, I just finished a 10-month sentence on that. That's from a
Sir,
charge
I
back in
don't know. It could aggravate everything. It's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Yes, sir. I just want, just for the record, sir, I just finished a 10-month sentence on a failure to register from a 2003 charge from a sex act with a 17-year-old.
You want to plead no contest?
Which she lied about her age.
You want to plead
So,
no contest?
Yes, sir. So I have no idea what.
Roderick Inman. You're charged with driving with a suspended driver's license. Bond is the amount of $100. And sir, it looks like you've had a prior driving with a suspended. This could suspend your license for 5 years. The best thing you can do, post a $100 bond. Find probable cause. Joanne Bartley.
Down the middle. I'm sorry? He bonded.
Judge, he bonded?
Bonded, okay. Perry Nathaniel. You got a DOC. Do you want to plead no contest?
Yeah, I'll plead no contest.
Time served. Have a good day.
That's not even my name.
Arthur Jackson.
Judge, I've been advised he bonded.
Tyler Shirkman.
He's here present, Judge, in Maine.
You're charged with loitering and prowling. You want to find probable cause, $25 bond. You want to plead no contest?
No contest, yeah.
Time served.
No contest.
Time served. Kelly Monixton. You're charged with prowling. I find probable cause, $25 bond. You want to plead no contest?
No contest. Sir.
Time served. Arco Watson.
Is he a medical loan? On page 14. Judge, medical loan?
Medical leave. Okay. Mark Lubin.
Mr. Lubin's here present, Judge of Maine.
Mr. Lubin, you've got a violation of probation, $9,000 bond. Violation of second probation, no bond required, and you have a writ of arrest for $210. Find probable cause.
I already went to court.
Dimitri Starks.
No private, Your Honor.
Mr. Starks, you've got a violation of probation, no bond hold. You'll be detained before Judge Cholera.
Do you know what the violation is for, Judge?
Jean Mary.
Right here?
Okay.
Yes.
All right, sir.
We need a Creole interpreter for Mr. Jean Mary. I did call for one earlier, but I don't think there's one here yet.
All right, we'll put Mr. Jean Mary on recall.
Judge, there is one of the cases that was on recall, the very first case, and that's already got to proceed on that.
You want Hamilton?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, on recall, Hamilton. Ellen Hamilton.
Good morning.
Anybody got Hamilton?
Ms. Hamilton's here present, Judge.
All right. Miss Hamilton, you're charged with domestic battery. Sir, who are you?
Boyfriend, sir.
Okay, what do you want to tell me?
I'm asking for forgiveness for her. I said some stuff to her was wrong, and that's why we are here today.
Raise your right hand, sir. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Normally, in a domestic battery, I issue a no contact order. Do you want me to issue that no contact order?
No, sir.
Are you afraid of her?
No, sir.
Do you have any fear that this will reoccur?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Court at this time finds probable cause. The court RORs the defendant. She's got a court date. She's going to have to be back in court. Make sure she's there.
Thank you.
Wanna sick Paul
All right, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Paul Ryan?
Yes, sir.
You're charged, sir, with possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon. I find probable cause, bond is set in the amount of $5,000. Okay, Mark Trudgeon.
Conti.
You're charged, sir, with dealing in stolen property, $3,500 bond, false ID to pawn, $1,000 bond, grand theft, $1,000 bond, total bond, $5,500. Find probable cause. Have a good day. Woodrow Hammonds.
He's here at Maine.
Mr. Hammonds, you're charged with two counts violation of probation. Bond is set in the amount of $1,500 on the first one, $2,000 on the second one. Total amount of bond $3,500. Have a good day. Andrew McCaver.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask, the state's going to request that this could be reset 24 hours, Your Honor. I'd like to have an opportunity to bring the detective in to provide more information to the court. Your Honor, under the rules of procedure, Your Honor, it states that the PC determination has to be made within 24 to 48 hours, so the court can reset it under 24 hours and still be within the time allowed by law.
Right.
We're all here right now, Judge. This is the co-defendant of Miss Lee, who was already magistrated this morning. The court set bond in that case. I don't know what the difference is between this case and that case, that this one requires additional time.
This is...
No, this wasn't Miss Lee's.
This is attempted murder.
No.
This is a different case.
Judge, he declined to serve as public defender. He has private counsel. I believe it's Mr. Michael Weinstein. And also under the rules, Judge, under 3.130, subsection B2, counsel, if a defendant advises the court that he's retained private counsel, a magistrate court shall allow reasonable time for counsel to be present and even so go so far as to postpone first appearance in order to make sure counsel is present.
And I was mistaken. It's not the co-defendant of Miss Lee. It's a totally separate incident.
And as a friend of the court, I think the rule as Mr. Leonard was talking to is referring to perfecting PC, not to actually present additional evidence to proof evident presumption great.
Counsel, bottom line is, you're advising me that the public defender's office is not representing Andrew McIver.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Mr. McIver, you have been arrested for murder, which is premeditated, and a weapons charge. The state has requested 24 hours in order to file an appropriate motion and to be heard. Your attorney is not present. I will be resetting this because, one, so the state may file its appropriate motion. Two, so your attorney can be present. Please advise your attorney that you will be before the court at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
And Your Honor, just for the record, it's not to file an motion, but to have a witness present.
Whatever the state,
whatever
the state intends to do.
Thank you, Judge.
He's resetting for 24 hours. Get your attorney to
Jake
be here tomorrow morning.
Henry Schnellenberg.
He's here, President Judge of Maine.
I don't know where I'm.
Mr. Schnellenberger, you have 1, 2, 3 violations of probation, all or no bond cases. You'll be detained going before the judge to whom the case is assigned.
Well,
John
Judge,
Restrepo.
Judge.
Yep.
Mr. Schellenberger just advised me he was actually taken to court yesterday, and he said he resolved this, and I believe he got probation, special condition, house of hope.
No, I have Judge Tobin Singer. I turned myself into her yesterday, and she sentenced me to House of Hope and SAP. So I don't understand why I got called up here.
If that is the case, then the jail will receive the paperwork from Judge Tobin Singer's division, and they'll update it to...
Okay. Well, your paperwork hasn't been received in the jail by Judge Tobin Singer, or they haven't looked at it yet. And as soon as they do, you'll be released. My bond does not supersede her order.
They're processing the paperwork right now, sir.
Okay. John Restrepo.
The judge just told us right now. Okay.
Mr. Restrepo, you're charged with possession of burglary tools, $1,000 bond, uttering a false instrument, $1,000 bond, and possession of a firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon, $5,000 bond, fine probable cause, total bond, $7,000. Myron Barksdale.
Mr. Barksdale, come on up here.
You're charged with possession of cocaine, $1,000 bond, and you got a felony capias, no bond hold. You'll be detained going before Judge Singer. I'll be with you in a moment, Counsel.
Well, does the jail know?
DeAndre Hooks.
I've been advised he bonded.
Bonded, thank you. Requay Clark.
I've been advised Clark bonded.
Thank you. Alex Level.
Mr. Level's approaching, Judge. I believe Mr. Level was the co-defendant already appeared before you.
Right, I remember.
Yes, now I remember.
Okay. Mr. Level, you're charged with robbery with a firearm. I find probable cause. And state, you're standing up. You wish to be heard.
Your Honor, the state would be seeking a no bond hold. This is a punishable by life offense. The evidence, I believe, is even stronger against Mr. Lavelle. He was seen by witness and what appeared to be a firearm in his hand. That would corroborate with the allegations made by the alleged victim. Mr. Lavelle, to a certain degree, made a confession post-Miranda. Additionally, as I'm sure, as Mr. Reedy argued before, that it's a probable cause affidavit and the court cannot rely upon that. That just does not coincide with the law. I'd refer to Brackett v. State again, which states that the state may rely upon affidavits in a finding of proof evident or presumption great. I don't know that Mr. Reedy has any case law or statute to refute that. So we're relying upon this probable cause affidavit and the 4th DCA's finding in Brackett v. State. We would ask that the defendant be held no bond.
Mr. Reedy, you're standing on your prior argument?
I am. I'll stand on the same argument I made for Ms. Lee earlier this morning based on the Florida Constitution and State v. Arthur. And I would also point out, as Mr. Linder is well aware, that this is an issue that is currently up on appeal. So it's not a decided issue by any stretch of the imagination. And again, I'd ask the court to conduct an Arthur hearing and set bond for Mr. Lavelle.
Your Honor, if I may, the issue that's, and I've reviewed the writ, the issue that's before the court in writ is whether the court has to find proof evident or presumption great or not. Not what the court can rely upon. That is established by the 4th DCA.
All I can say is I'll be very happy when the 4th DCA rules.
You won't be the only one.
The court at this time finds probable cause. The court points out that to the court's knowledge at this point, there has been no firearm recovered or found. The court sets bond in the amount of $50,000. The court orders GPS monitoring and the pretrial release and no contact with the victim.
Your Honor, if I may, because I believe the court set the co-defendant's bond at $75,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say 75,000.
Okay.
I misspoke. Jermaine Bowens.
Mr. Bowens, is here present, Judge Maine?
You're charged with a violation of probation, 2 counts. I find probable cause, no bond hold, You'll be detained going before Judge Port. Rashid Maglior.
Mr. Maglior.
You're charged with a violation of probation. I find probable cause, no bond hold. You'll be detained going before Judge Merrigan.
Thank you.
Antonio Washington. You're charged with grand theft auto, $1,000 bond, resisting without $100 bond, fleeing and eluding, $2,500 bond. I find probable cause, total bond, $3,600. Have a good day, sir.
Your Honor,
Yes?
just the case the interpreter's here on, we already handled it, so I don't know, I think we might need the jail to bring her back. I'm just trying to keep the delay as minimal as possible. Mr. Benjamin's representing her. He's outside speaking with the prosecutor on the case. It's
Okay,
Dalen
well,
Rodriguez.
who is the person?
Dalen Rodriguez. I just don't want.
She's here.
Oh, she's there. Okay, I just want to make sure she was there. Okay, I just didn't want to delay.
No, I don't have.
That was the one on recall you allowed to, for her counsel to be present, or I believe, no, it's not. I believe counsel is there.
All right, well, we need Rodriguez.
She's here.
She's here. She's here on me.
Okay. We need Mr. Benjamin. We're gonna get back to her in a moment.
¿Tu abogado está ahí? Toma asiento.
Okay. Alexander Van Act.
I've been advised he bonded.
Thank you. Kirby Simulin.
Judge, he's here present. He declined to serve as public defender.
Okay, you're charged with possession with intent of cocaine, 3 counts, $2,500 each count, violation of probation, no bond hold, possession of cocaine, $1,000 bond. You'll be detained going before the judge who issued the no bond hold. Have a good day. Wold Lubin. You're charged with grand theft, $1,000 bond, find probable cause. You need $1,000 to get out. Hector Arch.
Judge, Mr. Lubin is requesting if you would consider pretrial release. Right now, he has no financial ability to post bond, but he is working. But he says he can't contact anyone to post his bond. Would you consider pretrial?
I'm showing he has a pending. I'll check, but he might have a pending possession of PVP.
$1,000 bond, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
Hector Arch.
Mr. Arce is here present. He declined to serve as public defender.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. You're charged with battery on a person over the age of 65. I find probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000. No contact with the alleged victim. Timothy Carball.
Bueno, Mr. Carball.
You're charged, sir, with
I wish I would have known that.
possession of shoplifting countermeasures, $1,000 bond. I find probable cause. You got a petty theft, no bond required. Need $1,000 to get out. Courtney Howard.
Judge, I was speaking with Mr. Carball right now. He advised me this is his first arrest ever. If the state could verify that, considering this is a non-violent offense, he lives in Davie, he's employed, he has community ties. Judge, would you consider an ROR on Mr. Carball's behalf if the state can verify it's first arrest ever?
Counsel, $1,000 bond. This guy's been at it before. Courtney Howard.
Mr. Howard, come on up.
Mr. Howard, you're charged with carrying a concealed firearm, $1,000 bond violation. The firearm by possession by a convicted felon, $3,000 bond. Possession of cannabis, $100 bond. And a capias, $250 bond. You have bonds, $1,000, $3,000, $100, and $250 respectively. Have a good day. Probable cause, all counts. Connor Panseria. You're charged with possession of a prescription without a drug without a prescription, $1,000 bond, find probable cause. Then we've got Blunt Cooper. You're charged with possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, 3 counts. Possession with intent to sell heroin is a $2,500 bond. Intent to sell PBP, $1,000 bond. Possession with intent to sell cannabis, $1,000 bond. Possession with intent to sell cocaine, $2,500 bond. Trafficking in oxycodone, $750,000 bond. And the court sets bond on counts 1 through 3 at $3,000 each. Court finds probable causes to all counts.
Judge.
Wait, we need
Judge, if I can be heard,
Yes.
in reference to count 8 and 9, Mr. Cooper's been residing in Florida his whole life. At this time, he's unemployed. He's currently looking for employment. He lives in Pompano. He's married. He has 4 children. He last worked in landscaping, making about $10 an hour minimum wage. He has no money in the bank, no property. Count 8 and count 9. One of them is $750,000 bond. Count 9 is $500,000 bond. Financially, he's indigent. He cannot afford the bond. We'd be asking you to reduce the bond on count 8 and count 9, and taking into account his financial resources, Judge.
Okay. You're correct. Count 9 is $500,000. The court, as I've said, finds probable causes to all count. Obviously, he's working counsel, and the bonds will remain as set. Okay. Then we have Sanjay Jones.
Mr. Jones,
You're charged with a violation of probation. I find probable cause. No bond hold. You'll be detained going before Judge Robinson.
Your Honor?
Then we got, yep.
Sorry, if you want, I just want to let you know we're ready if you want to recall Ms. Rodriguez's case.
On Ms. Rodriguez?
Señora Rodríguez, aquí está tu abogado, también está presente en la corte.
Everybody's on board now? Good morning, everybody.
Judge, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting my client other than on the videotape. Her family came to give me a retainer late yesterday afternoon, and because I had other commitments, I hadn't had the opportunity to come to see her. But I have gotten to be familiar with the case because, are you going to interpret?
Yes. Su señoría, no he tenido el placer de conocer a mi cliente todavía. Su familia me contrató ayer por la tarde, ya avanzado el día. Sin embargo, sí he logrado familiarizarme con el caso.
Your Honor, we provided a copy of the affidavit. When the case was first called, I didn't have a copy yet.
Su señoría, le dimos una copia de la declaración juzgada. Cuando el caso nos llegó por primera vez, no tenía copia de la declaración juzgada.
And there is a 5-page arrest affidavit that was signed by Judge Bober.
Hay una declaración jurada de la detención de 5 páginas firmada por el juez Bober,
which sets a total of 125,000 bonds with a Nebbia requirement for those 3 counts.
Que establece un monto de fianza por un total de $125,000 de conformidad con el requisito Nebbia para esos 3 cargos.
Judge, there are numerous co-defendants.
Señor juez, hay varios coacusados
that have already been arrested and are pending disposition in the system.
Que ya han sido arrestados y cuya resolución está pendiente en el sistema.
My perusal of their cases on the computer yesterday indicates they're all assigned at this point to Judge Singal.
Según lo que he visto, por lo que vi en la computadora ayer, tengo entendido que todos esos casos se le han asignado al juez Singal.
And as I read through the arrest affidavits for those arrest warrants of those co-defendants, this affidavit is almost identical other than a few words to all of those particular affidavits.
Al leer las declaraciones juradas provenientes de las detenciones de ellos, veo que la declaración jurada de la detención en este caso es casi idéntica a esas otras declaraciones, salvo por algunas palabras.
I know, Judge, at this juncture, Your Honor can't really delve into the issue of probable cause because another judge has signed an arrest warrant and looked at whatever affidavit contents is there to support his signature.
Su señoría, yo sé que en este momento usted, su señoría, no puede entrar a considerar el tema de causa probable porque el tema de causa probable ya fue abordado por otro juez, el que firmó la declaración jurada, el que firmó la orden de detención y en ese momento él tuvo que ahondar en el fundamento de la causa probable en ese caso.
I would like to be able to point out in the affidavit the complete lack of probable cause for the arrest of my client.
Me gustaría señalar que en la declaración jurada que corresponde a mi cliente hay una total carencia de causa probable.
Because the last paragraph of page 2 and the next blending over paragraph on page 3 has the complete narrative that they have tried to get my client involved in this alleged conspiracy, but it's completely lacking in probable cause.
Porque el último párrafo de la segunda página, que continúa hacia la página 3 también, contiene una narrativa por el cual tratan de inmiscuir a mi cliente en el tema por el cual están iniciados los otros coacusados. Sin embargo, mi cliente, hay una completa falta de causa probable para mi cliente.
Just briefly, Judge, what happened to these group of individuals got a fraudulent deed on a piece of property.
Muy brevemente, su señoría, lo que sucedió fue que se falsificó un título de propiedad. Eso fue lo que hicieron los otros individuos.
It's alleged that the co-defendants obtained a mortgage on the property that they didn't own.
Se alega que los coacusados obtuvieron una hipoteca para con esa propiedad de la cual no son propietarios.
And then later on, the proceeds of that mortgage were sent to different individuals.
Y más adelante, los réditos provenientes de esa hipoteca fueron enviados a otros individuos.
The only evidence that they have put on paper as to my client is that she, in the negotiations of buying another property, said that she could get $100,000 from the proceeds of a sale to buy this second house.
La única evidencia documental con respecto a mi cliente es el hecho de que en otro negocio, con respecto a otra propiedad, ella dijo que podía conseguir $100,000 provenientes de la venta de otra casa.
And made certain negotiations on this second house, making representations that included about this $100,000.
Y realizó ciertas negociaciones atinentes a esta otra casa, durante las cuales ella dio a entender o hizo una serie de comentarios referentes a estos $100,000 que ella podía conseguir provenientes de esta otra propiedad.
There's no evidence that she knew the proceeds were illegally obtained, that they were based on an illegal fraud, that they had anything to do with anything but friends and family that may have told her that we have the proceeds of the sale of another house for $100,000 that we want to invest in this new house.
No existe ninguna prueba de que ella supiera que el negocio era ilegal ni que las rentas provenientes de esa transacción fueran ilegales o provenientes de un título falso. Lo único que sabemos es que posiblemente amigos o familiares le dieron a entender a ella que tenían disponibles $100,000 que podían ofrecer como resultado de la venta de esta otra casa.
So, and the fact of her criminal history, that she's been involved in fraud similar and is on federal supervised release for other frauds that are similar in nature to this one.
Y a ese hecho supuestamente se aúna el hecho de que ella se encuentra bajo libertad condicional federal por otros temas de fraude y que está en este momento bajo libertad supervisada.
I'd love to come to Your Honor and say, throw this whole thing out and let somebody litigate it later on before they arrest this poor lady on no probable cause.
Me gustaría venir ante su señoría y decir que deseche todo este tema y permitir que otro juez adjudique el asunto antes de que esta pobre señora sea arrestada por supuestamente un fraude.
But I know that has to be saved for another day because Judge Bober already signed the document.
Sin embargo, sé que eso tiene que hacerse otro día porque el juez Bober ya firmó un documento.
Thank you.
So at this point, though, I would suggest that based on my evaluation and look at this document, that the weight of the evidence issue as to bond is something that Your Honor may be willing to look at.
Sin embargo, en este momento, con base en mi análisis del documento, con base en el cual ella fue detenida, yo sí le diría a su señoría que el tema de la fianza, el monto de la fianza, sí es un tema al cual su señoría podría darle peso.
She's not a risk of flight, and she's not a danger to the community.
No existe ningún riesgo de huya y tampoco representa a la señora un peligro para la comunidad.
Lawyers that represent these other folks were advised of this investigation months ago.
Los abogados que representan a los otros acusados fueron informados sobre estas acusaciones hace meses.
Her son, or adopted, or I don't know the exact nature of how they got to be mother and son, but her son is already a co-defendant and arrested over a month ago and has a lawyer.
Su hijo o hijo adoptivo, no sé exactamente cuál es la naturaleza de la relación filial ahí, fue arrestado ya hace más de un mes y ya tiene un abogado que lo representa.
In those affidavits, her name, my client's name, was replete all over all those affidavits over a month ago.
En esas declaraciones juradas referentes al arresto de ese individuo, el nombre de mi cliente está en todo lado.
She obviously, and through that evidence, was aware that she was under investigation, and the investigation resulted in the arrest of all these co-defendants, which obviously she knew based on the allegations in the affidavit.
Obviamente, dados esos documentos y la mención constante de su nombre en esos documentos, ella ya estaba muy consciente de la situación.
Her son, who picked her up the morning she was arrested yesterday, to take her to her federal probation officer, and then to her doctor because she's about to undergo serious spinal surgery on her back.
Su hijo, quien la recogió ayer cuando al ser arrestada para llevarla a su oficial federal de probatoria y luego también para llevarla al médico, ya que ella está a punto de someterse a cirugía debido a problemas graves que tiene en su espalda.
She has 3 vertebrae that are either crushed or affected so badly that she needs immediate medical attention and was going for the pre-op appointment to the doctor after the probation meeting.
Tiene 3 vértebras, ya sea aplastadas o gravemente dañadas, y ella iba a la cita preoperatoria. Ahí se iba a dirigir después de ir donde su oficial federal de probatoria.
She's a diabetic and a hemophiliac.
Es diabética y también sufre de hemofilia.
And the examination was to figure out the path and the pre-op plan to get her back taken care of with these other medical maladies that very much affect operations on one spine.
Y el propósito de la cita preoperatoria era para analizar cómo podría realizarse este procedimiento médico dados estos otros problemas médicos muy graves que ella sufre.
They were in the car outside the probation office after they went inside to say that they were there to see the probation officer, and he called on the cell phone and said, "I'm a little late, I'll be there in a couple minutes."
estaban ellos en el vehículo estacionados afuera del lugar donde iban a reunirse con el oficial de probatoria. Él llamó por celular, dijo, estoy un poco retrasado, voy a llegar en unos minutos.
They got coffee at the subway next door and he gassed up at the gas station next door, and we're waiting in the parking lot of the probation office when the marshal service surrounded the car with numerous vehicles, and she was taken into custody on this warrant.
Tomaron café en el subway del lugar de a la par, en el subway de a la par, y él le echó gasolina al carro y estaban esperando en el parqueo de la oficina de probatoria cuando llegaron los alguaciles federales.
She has numerous family members and complete ties to the South Florida area.
Tiene numerosos parientes y vínculos muy fuertes con la zona del sur de Florida.
Her son Luis is, I've already talked about, is here, and he lives with his mom.
Su hijo Luis, como ya dije, está acá y vive con su madre.
She has another daughter named Cindy Rodriguez,
Tiene otra hija
who's
llamada
14 years old,
Cindy Rodríguez, que tiene 14 años de edad,
who lives in Miami.
vive en Miami.
Her brother is Francisco Pico.
Su hermano es Francisco Pico.
He's married and has 2 kids,
Está casado, tiene 2 hijos.
and he's a mechanic for a BMW dealership. He just couldn't be here today, but he is in support of her and lives right here in Miami.
Trabaja como mecánico para un dealer, una agencia de carros. Él no pudo venir acá, pero él la apoya.
She has a sister, Anuska, who has 2 children. She's a nurse or in nursing with a home health care agency.
Tiene una hermana, Anuska, que trabaja como enfermera o está, forma parte de profesión de la profesión de enfermería con una agencia.
And 2 nieces, the daughters of Anuska, Claudia, who's a student at UCF in Orlando, who's 18, and Madeline, 12, who lives with the aunt, her mother.
Y 2 sobrinas, las hijas de Anuska,
Yeah, Claudia and Madeline.
Claudia, que
18 years old,
estudia en UFC,
and Madeline,
tiene
12 years
18 años, y Madeline, que tiene 12 años.
So there's plenty of family, and she has complete ties here. She's a Cuban refugee who's lived here since she left, and I'm not sure what year, but her whole life is here.
Así que muchos vínculos con esta zona. Ella es una asilada cubana, no sé exactamente cuándo salió de Cuba, pero toda su vida está acá.
And as I said, Detective Gossman of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department has been investigating this for many months, and these folks have all known about the investigation, including she, and she didn't split.
Y como dije, el detective Gossman del Departamento de Policía de Fort Lauderdale ha estado investigando este caso durante meses, y toda la familia y ella incluida sabían sobre esta situación desde hace meses, y aún así no se dieron a la fuga.
The family scraped together a few shekels and hired me preliminarily to represent her.
La familia logró conseguir unos pesos y me contrataron a mí de manera preliminar.
And I'd like to, and determined to have an audience before a judge to talk about the probable cause. But my submission respectfully to Your Honor at this point is, this bond is draconian in nature. It's so heavy that, and based on this, that nobody can make a $125,000 bond with a Nebbia who doesn't own a home at this point, and it's too high.
Yo estoy resuelto a conseguir una audiencia ante un juez para discutir el tema de causa probable, pero de momento quisiera simplemente decirle a su señoría que este monto de fianza es draconiano, es tan oneroso, y nadie puede obtener la fianza o el monto necesario para una fianza de $125,000 cuando media un requisito de Nebbia, a menos que sea propietaria de una casa.
I would like to argue to Your Honor that she should be ROR'd, although I know that request may be a little too much.
Me gustaría solicitarle a su señoría que la liberara bajo palabra, aunque sé que esa solicitud posiblemente pase de la raya un poquito en este caso.
But a low monetary bond coupled with pretrial supervision through pretrial release should satisfy any concerns this court would have that she wouldn't appear.
Sin embargo, esta corte debiera estar satisfecha con respecto a cualquier inquietud posible que tuviera, simplemente imponiendo una fianza monetaria baja junto con un régimen de supervisión preliminar al juicio.
And I know the state's been patiently waiting to have their say, so I'm finished.
Sé que la fiscalía ha estado esperando pacientemente su turno para presentar su argumento, así que yo ya he terminado.
I would caution my client not to have any conversations with any law enforcement officers about the case, as we've invoked her Fifth Amendment rights, and she should understand that she should continue invoking her Fifth Amendment rights if and when approached by any law enforcement officer.
Sí, he prevenido a mi cliente de que lo mejor es que ella no discuta el caso con ningún oficial de policía, ya que hemos invocado su derecho a guardar silencio bajo la quinta enmienda y que ella debería continuar invocando ese derecho.
Counsel.
Good morning, Judge. Kathy Heaven on behalf of the state.
Kathy Heaven representando a la fiscalía.
To start with, if I
Para
may present the
comenzar,
case of Mata v. Lamberti.
Si me permite presentar el documento
Stand for the
Lombardi.
proposition that
Nosotros
this bond, because this bond was set by a KPS, did not
sostenemos
specifically
que-
reserve the right of the court at magistrate to set the bond,
Dado el
did not
hecho de que-
authorize setting or modification of the bond by the judge presiding over the
Dado
course
el
of
hecho-
appearance. Therefore, that judge had no authority.
Could you please
Sorry.
wait? Dado el hecho de que esta fianza fue impuesta como resultado de una orden de detención,
That case was the KPS, this was an arrest warrant signed by Judge Bober.
esto fue una orden de detención firmada por el juez Bober.
And in fact, it's apparently going to be assigned to Judge Singal, and we would
Parece-
ask the court to certainly defer to whatever that assigned trial judge might
Parece que
choose
se
to
le va
do.
a asignar al juez Singal y le solicitaríamos a esta corte que se remitiera a la decisión de el otro juzgado con respecto a cómo proceder en este caso.
Secondly, I
Segundo lugar.
do want to refer to the defendant's prior record,
Me remito a los antecedentes de la acusada,
which is quite extensive, including
Que
such
son-
charges as false statement and application of passport,
bastante extensos, incluidos por ejemplo falsedad ideológica en la solicitud de un pasaporte,
as well as fraud in introducing purported evidence into a federal facility.
así como fraude y introducción o inserción a un establecimiento federal de evidencia.
And in fact, I believe she is on probation for a very similar case to this.
Y de hecho tengo entendido que ella se encuentra bajo libertad condicional por un caso muy similar a este.
And in that case, it's my understanding she's paying a $50 a month in restitution in the federal case, where thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars are owed in a similar scheme to this one.
Y en ese caso, tengo entendido que ella está pagando un monto de $50 mensuales por concepto de resarcimiento por un caso muy similar en donde se deben cientos de miles de dólares, un caso federal.
And meanwhile, in this particular case, the defendant did specifically pay $100,000 of the stolen money as a non-refundable deposit in the sale of a home in which she was living.
Y en este caso, la acusada sí definitivamente pagó $100,000 por concepto de depósito no reembolsable como pago preliminar de una casa en la cual ella se encontraba viviendo.
And she in fact indicated to the realtor that it was from the sale of a home and that the rest of the money would be coming from the sale of another home.
Y ella le indicó a la gente de bienes raíces que eso provenía de la venta de una casa y que el resto del dinero adeudado provendría de la venta de otra casa.
This scheme was rather involved, and we would be asking the court to leave the bond as it's set, which is a fair bond as set by Judge Bober.
Este complot fue bastante complicado y le solicitaríamos a su señoría que deje incólume el monto de la fianza ya establecida por el juez Boer.
Judge, just in brief response, the Mata case I'm really familiar with. Jason Christ shared space with me when this case happened. I remember the whole thing. And basically, it's distinguishable because the judge in that case who set the bond was the judge that was the trial judge.
Señor juez, simplemente una respuesta muy breve. Con respecto al caso que se invoca como jurisprudencia, yo estuve involucrado en ese caso con un colega y estoy muy familiarizado con el mismo. Y en ese caso la fianza fue impuesta por el mismo juez que estaba presidiendo el juicio.
In this case, Judge Singal is a judge who didn't sign the warrant, who isn't the trial judge.
En este caso, el juez Singal, Judge Singal is not the trial judge.
Is the trial judge.
En este caso, el juez Singal es el juez.
But he is not the one who signed the warrant.
El juez Singal es el juez que preside, sin embargo, no fue el juez Singal quien firmó la orden de detención.
That's Judge Bober, who's never going to see this case again.
El que firmó la orden de detención fue el juez Bober, que no va a conocer más de este caso.
Now,
Bien.
counsel, on your case, it appears to be a capias, which is different than a restaurant.
Señora fiscal.
So it is your position that based upon this case or some other cases, that I don't have jurisdiction to address the bond on an arrest warrant issued by another judge?
Señora fiscal.
Because this case basically holds the premise that on issuing a capias, I don't have jurisdiction.
Usted lo que está diciendo es que al emitir un capias no es una orden de detención propiamente dicha. Entonces usted está argumentando que yo no tengo competencia para conocer de un capias emitido por otro juez.
I'm just calling the court's attention to the last sentence. Any application for modification of bail must be made to the judge assigned to preside over the petitioner's case.
But that's not the case.
Yo simplemente señalo a su señoría el
Seagal's
último
case.
renglón que dice que cualquier
it would be
solicitud de
Seagal.
modificación
Right,
de
so
fianza
the question
debe
is,
ser presentada
are you
ante el
saying
juez
I
asignado
still
para
lack
conocer el
jurisdiction
caso?
to make a
Entonces, pero lo
decision?
que usted
Well,
está
I'm
diciendo es
just
que igual yo no tengo
basically
competencia.
saying that because it is assigned,
Básicamente estoy diciendo
obviously
que,
going to Judge Singal,
dado
that this
el
would
hecho
be
de
a
que
proper
se
forum,
le va a
you know,
asignar
that Judge
al
Singal would be a
Well, I
proper
understand that, but
forum to have
in
this.
all of these cases,
quien
There are
tiene que
distinctions.
they're all
conocer
sentenced to other, they're all
Sí, pero
assigned
es
to
que
other
en
judges.
todos estos casos han sido
True.
And I am making, in some of them I make the decision, and some of them, the state says, no, I don't have the
la fiscalía
ability to make the decision.
no tengo la posibilidad de conocer del caso.
So my question is this,
Así que mi pregunta es la siguiente.
is the state's position that I don't
¿Está
have
diciendo la fiscalía
jurisdiction or
que
the
yo no
authority
tengo
to
competencia
change
ni autoridad
Judge
para
Boober's
modificar
or
la
Bober's
fianza ordenada por el
arrest
juez Bober
warrant,
o la orden de detención firmada por el juez Bober?
or do I?
¿O la tengo?
Then I question
Entonces,
if
mi
I
pregunta
do,
es, bueno, si sí la tengo,
why do we have Judge Boober issuing
¿por
the arrest
qué
warrant and then it coming to me?
el juez Bober una orden de detención y luego me mandan el caso a mí?
I simply, felt
Yo
the
simplemente consideraba
warrant was similar to
que la orden
capias
de
in this, but this was not my case. No, I would defer to the court. I'm just
al
indicating
capias,
that.
yo simplemente me remito a la decisión de la corte.
I think this happens all the time in this situation where magistrates do address bond.
Creo que esto pasa muy seguido
I
en
understand that.
situaciones donde los magistrados sí entran a conocer del tema de la fianza.
But the question becomes,
Entiendo, pero la
what
pregunta es,
does the case law say
¿qué dice la
as to where a judge issues
sobre
a specific arrest warrant
aquellos casos
based
en los cuales
upon the
un juez
affidavits of the police
ha
officer?
emitido una
Does
orden
that
de detención
remain
basada en la
intact,
declaración
or is
jurada
it
emitida por los
subject to
oficiales de,
review
policía?
by the
¿Es eso
magistrate judge?
impugnable o puede ser revisado por un magistrado?
If I believe there's no case law that ties your hands, and this is why.
Yo considero que no haya ninguna jurisprudencia que lo ate a usted de manos y es por la siguiente razón.
With the bare bones allegation of a detective,
El alegato a secas de un detective.
And now another judge is the trial judge, so this case doesn't apply.
Y ahora hay otro juez, que es el juez que está conociendo el caso, así que esto no aplica.
A person would have no due process or ability and the habeas corpus rights of being held with a bond that is too much without any judge having the benefit of hearing their family ties and all of the reasons why the bond is so high would cause that person to languish in jail for days, if not weeks, and that isn't the law.
Si no hubiera un juez competente para conocer y para escuchar las pruebas sobre los lazos con la comunidad, los lazos de parentesco, etcétera, de un indiciado, entonces el derecho de debido proceso y de habeas corpus de ese indiciado se vería lesionado porque no habría quien conocería el caso y la persona simplemente permanecería indefinidamente en la cárcel.
That would, if they wanted to, the state that can do away with you by just having judges sign arrest warrants, and then why even bother having first appearance hearings at all?
O sea,
sometimes that's all it is, Mr. Benjamin, because all I'm allowed to do is read and advise the person of what has occurred.
La fiscalía podría simplemente encerrar a una persona y botar la llave.
Just that it was reviewed by Judge Bober, a bond was specifically set as opposed to your normal and standard bond. That's
Bueno, a
the different
veces ese es el
position
único
that we're in
derecho que
today.
se tiene, simplemente leer
Based
los derechos
upon
ya.
what I have here, and based upon the law not being clear on the subject, I believe the bonds are set in the amount of the 75,000, 25,000, and 25,000 respectively. I am going to leave those bonds intact. As to the other requirements, the court sees no basis for all of those other requirements, and the court sets bond as 75, 25, 25. So it's $125,000 bond.
Are you deleting the Nebia requirement?
Yes.
Señor juez, va a
Would
dejar
argue that
incólume
since it is a
requerimiento
monetary crime and the
Dado el
money
hecho
was
de que
passing through the
es un
defendant's
delito
hands, we would ask
monetario
that
y
there
el
be a
dinero
Nebia
pasó
requirement.
por manos de la acusada, sí solicitaríamos que se respete el requerimiento Nevia.
And
Sí,
Judge,
gracias.
thank you so much for your patience.
Gracias, su
I'm
señoría, por su paciencia.
That's right, Mr. Benjamin. Have a good day.
going to come see my client
The
later
condition
today.
of a passport surrender and a GPS
I don't believe she
monitor.
has a passport. She's a Cuban national.
I don't know.
Is she a Cuban national, or does she hold a U.S.
She
passport?
may have a passport. If so, we have no objection. to
Okay,
put her-
if she has any passport from any country, she will
Y entonces se ordena,
surrender same.
se ordena que entregue su
Anything else?
The fact that the, all the arrest warrants were signed on the same date, it was just that she was the last one to be located apparently, which may mean, apparently means she was difficult for the officers to find.
I have
would
to
ask
object to that.
the
There's no
GPS
evidence.
monitor be required.
There's no
Pre-trial.
evidence.
I would be asking that a GPS monitor
That's
be required.
absolutely ridiculous.
But they found her by going to the probation officer.
solicitaríamos que
And of course,
se
so
le,
I don't find that.
portar un monitor GPS.
Thank
I
you,
mean, she
Judge.
was showing up to her probation officer. She knew this was going on. It doesn't appear that she was hiding or ducking at this
No
point.
es necesario. No
Thank you
parecía
very
que se
much.
estuviera
Greatly
dando la fuga.
appreciate it.
Gracias.
Good seeing all of you.
For longer than you
I
wanted,
didn't
right?
expect this morning.
You never know when you just finish your position.
Yeah,
Reading the GPS, but you're keeping the passport in place.
correct.
And it's over to say,
And the passport on request of the state in open court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Lockett.
He's approaching, Judge.
Can I just bring it over later? Take that charge? Is that okay, or?
I'd be here at 1:30.
I'll do that. Thanks so much.
Michael Lockett, you're charged with possession of ecstasy, possession of PVP, violation of probation, and driver's license suspended. Bonds are set in the amount of $1,000. There is a no bond hold on the VOP and $100. So you have $2,100 in bond, but you have a no bond hold on the VOP. Find probable cause, all counts. You'll be detained going before the judge on the no bond hold. Robert Larkin.
Mr. Larkin, come on up. Just what I told you before, sir.
Mr. Larkin, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 capiouses, 6 capiouses, 5 capiouses, and 3 violations of probation. All of them are no bond holds. You'll be detained going before the judge who issued the no bond hold, which is Judge Porth. Have a good day. Then we got Patrick Ford.
Mr. Ford's here approaching, Judge.
You're charged, sir, with possession of drug paraphernalia, and you've got a felony capious. Now, counsel, I'd offer him a plea on the paraphernalia, but it appears this felony could be
Right, he's
could be
not
a
going anywhere.
violation of probation or something.
At this time, Judge, he's
No, I
he's
wouldn't
just
offer
going to see.
Okay, you've got no bond hold.
Thanks, Judge. Douglas Trebek, come on up, please.
Yes,
Mr.
Douglas
Trebek's currently
Trebek.
being held no bond on VOP.
Mr. Trebek, you're charged with burglary of a structure unarmed but occupied, petty theft, and criminal mischief. I find probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000 on count 1, $500 on count 2, and $500 on count 3. In fact, these are add charges. Counts 5, 6, and 7 are $5,500, $500, respectively. Have a good day.
Judge, the last gentleman here at Maine is Mr. Gonzalez. He was on recall. He was I believe, the third person in the beginning of the docket.
Okay, this is on Giovanni Gonzalez Infante.
Infante, correct.
Okay, who are you, sir?
I'm his grandfather.
What do you want to tell me, sir?
Well, it was a mistake. Misunderstanding of his aunt and my wife. I see, when they came in around 7 o'clock at night, he was asleep in his room, and I had told them not to bother him because...
Ma'am, sir, you really don't want to get into the facts. All right? He lives with you?
Yes, he does.
It's your house?
Yes.
Okay? But your wife is the one who he attacked.
No, he didn't attack her.
Well, that's what
He didn't even
this is what it says.
That's what my daughter told her.
Okay.
Told the cops.
All right.
And it was a big mistake. See, I had told her
Okay.
not to go into the room because he's an orphan, Your Honor. He doesn't have a mother, doesn't have a father. I raised him since he was 2 years old.
Okay.
And he ran to the back of the house where he used to live with his mother before his father shot her in the head 3 times. He saw it. And
that, sir, that
affecting him so much that whenever he goes to sleep, somebody wakes him up, he starts yelling. Because he tried to kill him also.
I understand that, sir, but we have a problem in that I don't have your wife here, and she's allegedly the victim. I understand what you're telling me, okay? But and you want me to release him, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Respectfully.
I am going to pre-trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will you take him?
You take whoever the court orders.
All right, I'm going to release him to pre-trial, but I'm going to make it, it's a no contact order until this gets squared away. He can't come in contact with your wife. So either he will have to stay someplace else, or she's got to be someplace else. They both can't be in the same place. I know that's difficult, sir, but if nothing more I can do at this point. Have a
Yes,
good
Judge,
day.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We had Jean Marie. We're supposed to have the Creole interpreter.
We're waiting for the Creole interpreter. I know she's busy in a hearing, last time I checked.
Okay. We will take a brief recess.
At least he's gonna be getting. she couldn't come here first, but.
All right, if in the jail, anywhere else? We are recessing till 1:30. We have Mr. Gene Mary, and he is being reset to 1:30.
Brian.
Thank you all.
Let's just